So it's getting a little hard to breathe. And I found Emmerich plastics just down the road a piece. I got some in my shoe, some picking me in my sock. Let's check this out. Look at these spider webs. Oh, there's a spider. See if I can zoom in on him. See him? I don't know if I'm pointing right at him or not. See if I can just zoom digitally in on him. I can't see him on the camera. Oh well. Tiny screen I'm looking at. So maybe it'll turn out better on the larger screen. Maybe you'll see the spider, but I didn't on the camera. It's a little, well, not little, but nice old looking factory stuff over there. All that kind of stuff. Anyway, it seems I've come across the graveyard. I was hoping to stumble upon it. Wasn't really sure exactly where it was, but I knew it was in this general direction. I wanted to go up that street and turn the next corner, go left, but there simply wasn't another street up that way. It goes on for a long distance, and then finally it's another street, so there wasn't, like an equal grid. So I decided not to go that way. Wonder if I'll find any spirits in the graveyard. I feel them in the ground. I wonder if they'll care if I go in there. Maybe it's not the spirits I feel on the ground. Maybe it's something else. It's just hard to say. So many things that can interrupt the senses and replace them with something else. It goes a long way down. I don't know if it's open at this time of night, but I don't know what time it is either. Look at these beautiful hanging pine trees. Look at this. Branch is barely on there, it just hangs there. And swing it back and forth. This looks so nice how it swings in the wind. Pretty cool. So I'm not going to do the same philosophical stuff I did before in my other videos. My life's taking a different turn. Not that I'm not going to do anything philosophical, just it's not going to be the same flavor. Not so much gloom and doom and depression. Right now I'm feeling kind of down, but that's mostly because I'm sick. From the shadow there, it looks like the gate is open, but I can't be sure until I get right up to it. Maybe that's not the shadow from the gate. No, it looks closed. Let's read the rules here. Oh, it's locked. Or is it? I don't see a lock on there. From May 1st to September 30th, the Ellis St. Mercer Street Howard Ave gates are locked at 5 p.m. The only the Giles gate shall remain open until 8 p.m. No entry allowed after 7:45. So there's a gate on Giles. So this must be Ellis Street. So Giles would be way the hell down there. I don't know what side it's on. or if it's after 8. So you know what, it is after 8 because I just programmed the time into my video camera. So no graveyard today. Just look as we walk by. Very peaceful place. It'd make you think it was a happy place to die, but man, peaceful is the most boring and torturous thing when it lasts forever. Peace is the thing you want right after you do something really terrible or really hard. Peace is not the thing you want to have constantly. I mean, you don't necessarily want war either, but I mean, peace forever? No interruption, no sporadicness, no chaos, nothing. I mean, chaos doesn't have to mean violence, it's just disorder. I mean, peace would be the most boring thing ever. And frankly, well, maybe it's not that all that frank actually. It's just something people say after a sentence or when they want to reiterate a point. But really, fuck. Do I want to spend an eternity buried in the ground with some fucking other dead people that can't move? No. No, fuck that. I want to get cremated. I want to get my ashes just like thrown into the wind or something. Anywhere they can be free. Because you know, I can make a lot of speculation and even educated guesses as to what happens when you die. But there's a chance that there is no soul and you're just your body. That doesn't seem so bad to me. It doesn't seem bad at all, actually. Eventually the body rots and becomes something else over the many, many years and completely changes form to a completely different thing. It's almost like reincarnation. And those of you who would argue some scientific point, according to modern science, energy can't be created or destroyed. So if you're using that theory, then, well, maybe you don't retain your consciousness. In fact, I severely doubt that you do. But the things that make you have to go somewhere. You can't just destroy something. You can't erase it permanently. It's all a cycle. Everything's being recycled. You are going to persist. You are an unending loop. You have no way of being erased. Soul or no soul. So don't just let them put you in the ground. So what if you're just sleeping there forever? I mean, fuck. Dreaming forever would be good. But again, if you're gonna take the scientific route, dreaming comes from the chemical DMT, a bunch of other chemicals too, being produced in your brain, by your brain. And when you're dead, your body doesn't keep producing chemicals. So any of that's gonna stop. I personally believe that I have like a soul and a spirit. Oh look, that graveyard's open. I'm gonna go over there. I personally do believe that, but that's a belief that's fading and is really, really lacking in proof. I don't think I can justify it to myself anymore. I mean, well, yeah, I can justify it, anybody can justify believing that they have a soul. I mean, just thinking that you're more than a pile of chemicals. I mean, but really everything's a chemical, so the soul has to be a chemical too. So, I mean, like, really, what are you arguing? Saying you're not just chemicals. I mean, to say you're not made of chemicals, that's a religious superstition. If there is a soul, it's made of chemicals, just like everything else. A chemical is not something that's restricted to physical. A chemical is just what everything's made out of. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand chemistry. Chemical is not a restrictive term or one that demands conforming to a certain type or certain school of thought. A chemical is everything. Everything's a chemical. So all these people, you gotta remember when you're looking at these stones, there's people in the ground there. All these people are chemicals. Everything in here is a chemical. The wind I'm breathing in is a chemical. The sky is a chemical. This tree is made of chemicals. I'm made of chemicals. So, if the soul would have to be made of chemicals, then why would it be hard to believe that I have no soul, but I can still live forever? Maybe it's my chemicals, the chemicals that make up my body, that are me. And those chemicals, they might not live forever per se. I mean, there's a phase where I'm dead, but maybe they endure forever. And maybe my consciousness doesn't end, but it disperses. Disperses into the dirt, disperses into the worms, disperses into the earth. Maybe my consciousness and the chemicals and the charges which are chemicals, the charges that make it up, maybe they're maybe those charges or those chemicals, etc., are, maybe they're capable of leaving my corpse. Or maybe, hell, maybe as my corpse breaks down, my consciousness disperses, the worms carry me miles under the dirt and miles into another town. Maybe I become everywhere. Maybe I just get spread all over the planet, and gases will exude from my body. Parts of me will disintegrate. Those gases are going to spread into other pieces. Maybe my biological material. Maybe the things that make it, like look at my hand. I know it's not in HD right now, but look how complex that is. I mean, there's these little fingerprints, all these little lines all over my hand. Like maybe all these intricacies that make me up, that make up my body. Maybe those are the same intricacies that make me who I am. And maybe when I ingest food and I grow, maybe I'm not adding that physical matter to myself, that food. Maybe the food is making the existing me grow larger. It's nourishing me and giving me more energy so that I can produce matter. so that I can create and or expand. Because technically everything is infinitely expandable. Doesn't make sense how I could put on weight though, unless of course in addition to the expanded matter I'm carrying matter in my body. But this is all just me trying to justify that I'm all one piece and that I stay me, me being my body. As I stay me as I add more facets to myself without becoming partly me and partly another being. But you know, they say that you develop an entire new body every 7 years. That every 7 years, so many parts of you are shed and replaced by a healing system of your body, that you have an entirely new body every 7 years, as each organ and skin cell and everything gradually drops off or is shit out and then is replaced. But others make more sense. Others say that gotta try and remember this here. Others say that if you lost every piece of your body, if you completely changed, if your body was entirely replaced, then you'd lose scars. You wouldn't have scars anymore. So look at all my scars. All these are from more than 7 years ago. So if your body was a new body every 7 years, then you'd have no scars. That brings up another question. That makes another point right there. That's saying that your body is not being replaced. So if your body is yourself, then that means that the intrinsic pieces that make you up, they don't just go away when you grow. You don't lose yourself. You know, it doesn't get erased. It doesn't just all fade away. So, if you are your body, then you are intact. I mean, you could lose an arm or something, still be alive, and that, you know, that would suck. But maybe that arm didn't stop being a piece of you, you know, like, does that arm stop being a part of yourself? Or are you now in two places at once? But there's the other description, the other idea of what we are. There is this. Now, it's funny coming here and thinking about it, because really the idea of the soul, it comes from this idea, this same philosophy. Because in Asian religions, they don't believe that the soul is permanent whatsoever. That they don't believe in any kind of permanency. That everything becomes something else, everything fades away. Now my personal beliefs, which are based somewhat on fact, somewhat on partial fact, mostly on feelings, they kind of are a middle ground between what you're looking at, this Jesus myth, this idol, and the Asian philosophy. But at the same time, it's neither one. I believe right here in this dirt, there's a man. Or a woman, I can't tell by the name. It looks like Sir. Could be Sir. Oh, Angelina. Angelina Riome. So under this grass, there's a woman, and that's who she is. She's there under the dirt. She can't hear us or see us. She's passed on into another metaphorical dimension of reality. Another stage. I don't want to say a stage of life, but it's not life, it's death. And all these people under the ground here, they're breaking down. They're becoming something else. They're becoming someone else. But they're not destroyed. They're not destroyed because they still exist. They all died with wants, feelings, and memories and emotions. And they're still going to have those wants and those feelings and those memories and emotions. Somewhere deep inside them. I just believe that even in death, somehow they are alive. Not alive like fully living, but alive like thinking. You know, the scary part is maybe they can see us. Maybe they can hear us. I don't know that. I mean, that's my assumption. That we're invisible to them. But all I know is that it's not the end of the road. It could take hundreds or even thousands of years for them to break down, and a lot of times after that, and the bones are still left there regardless. But I mean, they don't stop being human. Oh, there's a notice here. I might not be able to go here. Notice: Heavenly Rest, Family of Catholic Cemeteries. Heavenly Rest, Family of Catholic Cemeteries, on behalf of Roman Catholic Episcopal Corporation of Seals, London, submitted amended bylaws to the Register of Cemeteries Act. Any interested parties may contact the General Manager. These bylaws are subject to the approval. Okay. So there's nothing here that says I can't go in. So I'm gonna walk up to that white thing down there. A lot of Jesus-y stuff in here. There's two Jesuses right there sitting on the rocks. Of course, it's a Catholic cemetery, and they like to completely go against what the Bible says. What with their idols, their little statues that they worship. A lot of Jesus praying on a pile of rocks. Jesus right in the middle of two graves of supposed loved ones. Feels really peaceful here. I mean, it's kind of like a yin and yang. One way I feel like this total gloom, like this visceral death, like these spirits are watching me. And another way I feel this total relaxedness, total enlightenment, total peace of I want to say heaven, but it's more like finality. No longer worrying about all the things you worried about. No longer feeling all the bad things you felt. No longer having a care in the world. But back on the same subject. You know, I said that the idea of the soul comes from Christianity. But you know, I think people were talking about the idea of a soul, spirit, etc. long before Christianity or Judaism came around. Because the Egyptians did that, and they were around long before. So this is giving me and probably you a lot of things to think about. Man, I know so much stuff about this from the Egyptian angle. Got a lot of stuff to do with this heavens, the stars, the golden gate and the silver gate. They say when you enter into this realm, this world, the state of being, you come through the silver gate, which is supposed to be a star in the sky or something like that. And then when you leave, you exit through the golden gate into the next realm. Whether that means there's multiple realms, or whether that's like coming from a realm of spiritual birth into the realm of the physical and the mortal world, and then into like a heaven or an afterlife. I don't know. But to me, it feels like you're gonna enter this other world. So there's always things. Just think about all the people that argue amongst themselves about the religions that they're so sure of. And then I can sit here and basically argue with myself for it's probably been like an hour. No, it's not an hour. It's only been 26 minutes. Thank God. Well, let's not bring God into the equation, but you know what I mean. I can sit here and talk about this for so long and just think, wow, I mean, there's so many things. Like, look at these clouds. It kind of encompasses the enormousness of what I'm thinking of. This whole setting is very appropriate for what I'm thinking about. Just the tremendous unknowing, and yet at the same time the tremendous weight of the knowledge of the afterlife. They're both so huge. That which we don't know and that which we know. And even that which we know that is false. And the halls of the dead, look at those ones have their heads cut off. I thought I just saw something over there, like a man walking, but I looked and he wasn't there. Saw it out of the corner of my eye. It's probably whoever was in that grave with the heads cut off. And here we are at the end of the road. You got Jesus Christ with his neck slashed open, pointing to his heart like his E.T. or something. That's how he deserves to be, with his fucking neck slashed open. A big fucking cross, just to remind us how guilty we are, and then he paid for that. And then if we don't do what he says, he's still gonna send us to hell. So his payment is bullshit. Okay. I am now in a part of town that I don't know. Nice park here though. But I have to get heading back because I seriously need to piss. I know there's a Tim Hortons around here somewhere. So I could look for that. I could look for a bush to piss in. I don't want to piss in a cemetery, not because I'm worried about respect, but because I'm worried about ghosts coming after me. So I'm going to walk out of this cemetery and look for some there's a tree. There's some kids or somebody laughing, playing over there. Oh God, I have to piss. Okay, I kind of recognize this area of town. This is more populated over here. So I came from that way, and I first went that way. So I should be able to walk up over here. Let me get out on the side of the street that has a sidewalk. Should be able. Oh, dead squirrel. Talk about death. Everything's gonna happen to that squirrel. It's just annihilated. But see, this is what I mean about not being able to be destroyed. Look at him. He's annihilated, but does he cease to exist? No, he's wrecked, but he's still there. There's still parts of him there, you know? Those pieces of him that are broken aren't gone, they're just severely broken. They didn't cease to exist, just scattered and smashed. Maybe that'll paint a picture for you. Not a very pretty one, but I don't think death ever is. So I'm gonna turn this camera off for now, just to keep this video down to a smaller size. I'm gonna close by zooming into that weather main. There it is. See that? It's cool, eh? Anyway, that's enough for now.